Again, in this video, I'm gonna quickly go over the destroying the ragdoll setup. So, obviously, the reason for having this is so the ragdolls don't keep piling up, because uh, in this section, as I've shown before, obviously I spawn a ragdoll for every enemy that I kill, and they won't just automatically disappear. Um, so this is the setup to deal with that. Um, I call this event, the ragdoll gets spawned, and then I call this event, and this is this guy over here. And the first thing I need to do is, as with many things dealing with enemies, is adding the object to a list. And um, yeah, now obviously the reason that I need to do that is to be able to access that same object later on, when you can keep track of objects, but usually you can only keep track of the current object, and using a list you can keep track of many objects. So add the guy to the list, and then you have to access that list again so that you can grab that, and this is where obviously that comes in. So you can grab that ragdoll, and I access the first object because obviously they get added to the list in order, and in order to get the current first existing ragdoll, that's how you access that. So grab the first object in the list, and this delay is just my life, so this is how long the ragdoll is going to stick around, and then it gets destroyed. So access the first guy in the list, grab that object, destroy that object, and then you have to remove the object again from the list. Otherwise, even though you destroy the ragdoll, it is still part of the list. The list isn't physically the object. The list is just a reference. So if you don't remove the object from the list, the same guy stays at number one, and nobody else will ever get removed. So remove him from the list, and then run the loop. And the reason why obviously you have to run the loop is I use this event to trigger the sequence, but this event doesn't get called unless you kill someone. So that's why you need a loop to be able to. So if you kill 5 people in a row, if you don't have this loop, only the first guy will get destroyed, and every ragdoll after that pretty much will stick around. So the loop takes care of that. Just loop it back to the access object list node. Again, the first object in the list. So they'll keep getting destroyed in turn as you've killed them. And the reason why I run the loop through this comparison is so I can control the loop in some way. I'm not a big fan of having permanent loops in my Kismet sequences. I you know if I can avoid it at any cost, I'll try and avoid it, and this is a pretty easy one to avoid. So the uh, the list counter obviously makes that very easy. So as soon as I add an object to the list, I also set the amount, so it'll keep counting up, and as soon as I remove an object, it'll subtract it back down. So the loop will run as long as there's somebody in the list, and it'll stop running when the list gets emptied, and that's it. So it's not a permanent loop. It'll pretty much just keep looping while there are ragdolls around in the level, and no more ragdolls, no more loop. And That's pretty much that setup.